We are here today talking with Trina Bates-Clegg, the grandmother of DeOrr Kunz. Can you believe 4 years ago this week?
Not
Dior
even.
Disappeared.
Not even. We go back to so many different things, and it's like a timeline, and you start thinking, okay, today's the day we were helping clean out the camper, and here's little things of I just remember him being so excited helping clean out the camper and jumping on top of the cushions and just little things like that before they did go, of how excited he was to be part of that and go camping, and live some of what I remember from my childhood of going up to Ledor and camping with my grandma and grandpa and all of, we found pictures from like 1983 of that campground when we were all up there, and that was my last time up there. And it's such a beautiful place, and now it's such a haunted place to me. But I still find such comfort going up there because it is so beautiful. So
it is a pretty place. He'd be 6. He is 6 years old.
He is 6.
First grade, going into first grade probably. It seems like a lot has happened over the past year, but that not a lot has happened on both ends. First of all, your father passed away, and we're sorry to hear about his death just a few weeks ago.
Correct.
How are you doing since he died?
Rough, really rough. It's there's just been so much over the last 3 weeks to me that we had David Marshburn come in and just some new searches and things like that, and then my father passed away, and so I feel like I haven't had a chance to grieve for my father because there was so much going on, and so it's really still very difficult. I wanted the answers to come so much before Dennis Kunz died. And
he died in January.
And then I said, no, we'll get the answers, before my dad dies. And, when Marshburn came in and gave us some new information, I thought we had it. It doesn't mean that we don't, but I thought for sure that we'd know something. And then my dad passed away. So, I had someone close to me say, does it scare you that you may never find the answers? And that was a real big reality, that as a grandparent, we've lost the 2 great-grandparents, and that was a little rough, thinking that I may never find the answers.
Sure. I'm sure you've had people ask you, did your father have anything to say about DeOrr before he passed?
No, he just kept telling Jessica that he was very sorry, sorry that he took his eyes off that baby, and, and he just kept telling Jessica that he was sorry.
You mentioned David Marshburn, so this is a private investigator from North Carolina who came to Ledor probably a month or 2 ago with his dogs, and he went public and said that his cadaver dogs hit on a spot at the campground. You don't know what spot, or at least it hasn't been publicly said which spot. The sheriff's office hasn't said. I think it was one of his dogs and then the other dog, right? And then a police dog went in. This is what he said.
Right.
So it kind of gave a lot of people hope that, wow, finally there's closure. Is that kind of where you went when he told you this news?
Absolutely. And I'm still not giving up that hope because I know that there's more to come, but I still expect to see baby DeOrr as that same 2.5-year-old little boy. And so, whether he's not with us, but the expectation is I expect someone to bring him to me, being that same 2.5-year-old little boy. But it brought a lot of hope. It still does bring a lot of hope because it's another person out there fighting for baby DeOrr. Not necessarily fighting for anyone in the family or anything like that, but someone that's out there and they're gonna, he promises me every day, Trina, I'm not done. We're not done. And so just to have that again, and I know that Lemhi County and Bonneville County and missing and exploited children, they're all out there for the same thing. But when you get someone that comes in and they are so gung-ho again, and positive. And, you know, David's come here with a lot of his own money. You know, he said, I don't expect you to give me a dime. I offered to help feed him. I offered to let him stay in my home. I offered those kind of things. But as a PI and trying to stay neutral, I know he can't do that. But, you know, he said, I don't expect you to do anything for me. You are a family member of a missing child, and I don't expect that. And so, you know, David and I have become very close. I mean, I talk to him on a very regular basis, and I just feel like he brings a lot of hope to the case.
Yeah, and that's not to say that he didn't find anything. I want to make that clear. He came out with what he found, and then a weekend or two after, the Lemhi County Sheriff's Office did an intensive search, or a dig, whatever they did work up there, and they have not announced anything significant that was found. Not to say that there wasn't, there might be processing time, but basically there's not a lot of new information about that. Have they told you anything? I mean, are you still kind of wondering like the rest of us?
And yes, absolutely. I mean, we're still wondering. We're still waiting for Lemhi County to, you know, do their job. And Pinner and I talk quite a bit, and he just has said to me, Trina, I need you to remember. I need you to be strong, and I need you to continue to be patient. And, you know, I wait for the answers to come from him, you know, of what did you find? Is it anything? Is it related? Anything like that? But, you know, that's where I have to remember to get my answers from is from him. He's the lead on it. And, you know, I still lean on David, and I still lean on Bonneville County as everything. You know, I mean, if I go away for a weekend, if I do anything, I mean, hey, this is where I'm going to be. This is what I'm doing, you know, so that if in the event there is anything that comes up, they all know where I'm at.
Sure. Because,
you know, I want to make sure that, you know, I can be there to support Jessica and Vernal, or, you know, anyone when and if there is news that breaks. So
has your thought about what happened to DeOrr changed over the past year or 4 years?
Honestly, I still have hope that he's alive, but I mean, everyone keeps saying, I hope you understand that at this point, he's probably not alive. But I don't, you know, I still want that 2.5-year-old little boy brought back to us, which, you know, I don't know. I mean, I can't lose hope, but I am losing hope that he's still alive.
But you have been, it seems every year when we've done this interview, you've kind of been the one person that said, you just want to know what happened. You just, I mean, everybody wants to know what happened, obviously, but you have been like, if it was my daughter, if it was her boyfriend, whoever it was, you just want to know.
And that is, you know, I mean, I want closure so bad for baby DeOrr. You know, I mean, if he isn't with us anymore, I would like him properly laid to rest. I would like to know, you know, not necessarily do I want to know what happened, but I just want the closure of it. You know, when this all started coming out, in my mind, I was like, okay, if we have him, we get closure, but there's another chapter of this. And, you know, a couple people asked me, and I said, I'm not ready for that chapter, because this little boy didn't do anything to anybody. He was loving. His smile and his laugh brought so much joy to us that I'm like, there's nothing that this little boy could have ever done to deserve anything that happened to him, you know? So that's the chapter that's the don't want to know, don't want to see, don't want to, you know, if it does come out that someone has to be prosecuted, the whole thought of having to sit in a courtroom and listen to what happened step by step is way more than I think we've been through in 4 years.
Yeah. It's a whole new phase.
Mm-hmm.
We did a story with you back around the time of the state fair. Your window was shattered.
Mm-hmm.
You had on the back of your SUV, was it one hope, one dream,
Mm-hmm.
with a picture of DeOrr, and somebody shattered it
Yes.
at the fair. Obviously, that's just, who would do that in the first place? But how have the trolls been, the haters? Has that kind of calmed down? Or is it kind of stirred up every time something new comes out?
It's always there, I mean, probably some of the best advice that I've got from my husband, because my husband sees the ups and the downs, is, he'll say, I need you to just not get on and not read those, because he kind of gives me a heads up of what's starting and what's coming up. And so he can just see when things are starting to get bad, and he'll say, babe, let's just not look at that. And it's still there. I still get nasty little Facebook Messenger things. And
what do you want to say to those people? Because they're watching. They're watching right now, and
Yeah.
you're probably going to go type a comment below.
Yeah. Well, and all I have to say is, like I have said for so long, is you can't judge, you can't do anything. And, if you say something bad and you find out that it has nothing to do with our family or my daughter or Vernal or me or even Isaac, you can't say anything. I've judged every one of them. I have pointed the fingers at everyone inside that circle and everyone outside that circle. And I've pointed the fingers at everyone in the Ledor area. And, just thinking, do you have my grandson? Anything like that. But it doesn't make me a better person for having those feelings or pointing the fingers. I mean, I'd love to point the fingers, but it doesn't, in the end, make me a good person. I have to eat my words. If I say that it was you and it wasn't you, I have to eat my words in the end. And for that, I'm not ready to, say anything. I mean, I just feel like if I listen to Pinner and I follow that I just have to wait and I have to be patient. So.
How's Jessica?
Jessica's doing, since David came into the case and David has approached her, Jessica has found a voice, and she talks to David and she communicates well with him, and she has really, really been more open to listening to him and walking through things. And she, she's doing good. She's, as good as can be expected. I know with the death of my dad and this, anniversary and stuff, I know that it's really, a lot of things are building up, but I mean, she's doing better right now than I think she's done in a while.
Do you guys talk with Vernal, DeOrr anymore? Or?
I don't talk to him much myself. If I need to, I get a hold of his baby sister. And so I guess it's not baby sister, it's older sister, Tanisha.
Yeah. Right. By a few minutes?
By a few minutes.
Okay, yeah,
and so I do communicate with her, and I do communicate with her aunt, and we do still try to keep in communication and stuff like that.
And how about Isaac? Have you talked with him over the past year or more?
I actually took David to Isaac's house. And, Isaac talked to me. He always has. And so, it was, just wanted him to know that my dad was sick and things like that. And then wanted to introduce him to David. And so, I have seen him probably in the last 3 weeks.
Is there any misconception or any rumors or anything you've seen that you want to clear up that might have sprouted up over the past year or so?
There's just always just drama, I know that when Pinner was trying to go up and they were trying to do the intensive search that they were doing a couple of weeks ago, there was so much drama going on that when I called him to talk to him, you could just feel the tension, because he was trying to get things set up to go up to Ledor, get the permitting done, get all that kind of stuff done. But there was so much drama that was being caused that he was having to take care of the drama rather than focus on getting up there, getting equipment in, shutting the campground down. And that's so hard for me to be like, can you just not stop? Because I want to call him every day every hour and be like, and what's going on? But that doesn't make anything better for him, because he knows that I want that answer so bad. But if he can't provide it, every hour is not going to do anything. And create more drama so he can't do his job is just not beneficial for him.
Yeah.
So, just for the drama to stop and the negative comments, and, let law enforcement be able to do their job, so that, I hate to say it's really not a priority for the public to know first. It's for the sheriff to know, and then the family to know, and then from there, the rest of everyone else to find out.
Sure.
Because there's no first priority on anyone else except, the sheriff, and then the family, and then from there we'll find out.
Why do you think there's such a fascination with this? I mean, we were talking ahead of our interview that there's national media, there's online chats. I mean, it's one of those stories that I get asked about at least every other day. What do you think happened to Dior, or what's the latest on that? There is really an intense fascination on this story.
I know that it started on Facebook, and, we have so many connections with Facebook, but it's like, I have family that lives way out of state. I have created some really, really great friends. One of them in Montana that, I love her to death, and she did some really great things for me. And she's got friends that live there, and it's just those people that truly believe that there will be an answer, and they love baby Dior. They really, truly do. He had that face, he touched so many people in the beginning, just because they could relate. They had a kid that was about that age, his beautiful eyes, everyone will say little things about his laugh on some of the videos, and he just captured so many people. And so, you have that side of it. But I ran into someone here recently, and I said something, and they said, well, I recognize you. And I said, oh, you do? And, and it got brought up, well, you're baby Dior's grandma. And I was like, yeah, I am. And they said, oh, well, I thought they found him. And my face drops, and it's like, where do you get your information? Just because it's, you think that it's so out there still that we haven't found him. We're still looking for him. There's still no answers. It's just little things like that, you just try to keep it going. Mm-hmm. I've had a couple people ask about whether we're going to do a memorial, anything. And after last year and all the social media drama, the threats that came with it, all we wanted to do, we walked the river. We held signs for him. We literally got home, and there was people that said the nastiest, filthiest things about, we have no support anymore, and we're doing this memorial, and we should be up in the campground, and I should be working, and I should be paying my bills and things like that. Do I want to be up in Ledor? Absolutely. But I can't today, so this is what I'm doing in honor of my grandson. Because of those things, we're keeping it very private this year. We're not going to walk. We're not going to put ourselves out there to be beat on and bashed on anymore. We're going to probably just sit and try to, do what we can. It's not like tomorrow's a celebration day. It's a mourning day. It's you wake up and you can just feel it crush your heart. So every minute of this week leading on, you just start thinking about, okay, what were we doing today 4 years ago? What were we doing? Oh, we were getting the camper ready. Oh, we were doing this. It's just little things like that. And it's like tomorrow is one of, it hits you, and it's just like one of the worst days of my entire life. That phone call, the drive, there is no part of it that you can sit and go, think of anything pleasant on that day. Everything is turned so 100% just horrified about that day. July 10th, it'll just be a day that's just haunting the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I say this every time we talk, that hopefully next time we talk, he's been found. Mm-hmm. And I say that again today. Hopefully we don't have to do this on 5 years, in 2020. But thank you for sharing the message. And DeOrr is still missing, as Trina mentioned. He's still missing. He's out there somewhere. Somebody knows something. Maybe. Who? That's the question. Hopefully that answers can be coming quickly. Thank you very much, Trina.
Thank you.